Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're gonna be watching this video. I have an interesting topic for you today. Somewhat unexpected, but I made a list of requests from you guys who are following and joining my Patreon, and I will be making topics on that. Also, I want to announce that tomorrow on Wednesday, I will be posting some traveling tips information on my Patreon account. So if you are there, check it out. If you are not there, check it out also. Check it out as well. And some of you had asked me about the plans for this summer, whether we're having a trip and what are the dates and days and what we are doing. So I will make a post within a week and it's going to be all about the trip. I'm still handling some things about it. I had some family situations going on that I wasn't sure, but it's all coming along and I will update you within by the end of this week. So right now we have Tuesday, almost Wednesday. So by the end of this week, they're gonna be travel updates. So if you want to join our little group, let me know, and I will be able to provide information. And welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome. I love those unexpected live because I never know who to expect. Wonderful to see you guys. Hey Lance, King Nero, hello. John, Marco, hello. How are you? Bob, hello. Green King and Rene Miranda is here. All my YouTube family friends, hello. I have to tell you guys, I really miss our often interactions, so that's why I'm here. And today I have very unusual topic, something I've never really brought up earlier, I don't think. So I hope you all participate and having a discussion about that. So a subscriber requested a video about what Ukrainian and Russian women think, Slavic women in general. What do they think about an open relationship? What do they think about polygamy? And what do they think about, so to speak, now a fashionable thing, polyamory? I don't really think that those things just happen now. I think they were all along as human being existed, but somehow they talked more about now. And I thought it would be an entertaining topic for that, right? It's kind of interesting that I'm getting that request, and I would like to do my best to help. So, what Ukrainian women think about the polyamory of open relationship? Well, first of all, Ukrainian women do not think about it. I could really finish my video right here. Bye, guys. I've answered. Of course, I'm joking. And I want to make another disclaimer. This video, as a lot of my other videos, are going to contain generalization. Please understand that, we're not shooting a, documentary movie. I don't have other people here to contribute from their personal life. So it's not a documentary, but it's a generalization. So basically an average situation in a country, an average temperature in a hospital, like average. So what do Ukrainian women think about open relationship or, polyamorous or polygamous? Well, my answer to it that yes, they do not think about it. And that is one of the reasons why some of the, some of the Slavic women, ladies considering marrying a foreigner, because there are definite challenges. There are of course, challenging in marrying a foreigner because there is a lot of obstacle to overcome. But actually, one of the reasons, you guys might not even be aware of this, one of the reasons why Ukrainian women are exploring an opportunity to marry a foreign man is that they actually are sick and tired of being in that polyamory, polygamy, or open relationship without even giving an agreement for it. So some of you guys asked me before, why is it Ukrainian women are so possessive? Why is they so jealous? Why is they always checking things out? Why is they don't trust us? What's behind it? And today's topic will relate to that as well. So a lot of Russian and Ukrainian women had experienced an open relationship without even ever agreeing to it. And a lot of women have post-traumatic syndrome from realizing that their man wasn't faithful, and that is a very, very common situation in post-USSR countries, and that is why I would say 99.9% of Ukrainian women are not looking for open relationship. And this letter I got from a younger person. He was in his early 20s. And by the way, I'm welcome. I'm open and equal opportunity for all the backgrounds, all the ages, but I usually have a little bit more mature people. So my advice to or insight for this young man would be very simple. Get this out of your system. If you are looking to be in an open relationship, whatever kind that is, there is a chance, just a chance that maybe you hadn't get out that sexual energy, the exploration out of your system. And there are certain things that are okay, in your 20s, and they're weird in your 40s and 50s. They're just weird. And to classic culture, that is one of those things. It's natural that, young men and girls are a little bit different, but we'll add girls to that too. When you're in that age, you explore and you're checking things out because we all live in, we all are living in a modern world. Except for those of you who might be watching from some, Muslim countries, you still have your restrictions. Now, not in Ukraine, not in the United States. Usually there are no restriction of having sexual relationships before marriage, and usually you have your choice what you want to do. You have a choice of things that you want to do, as long as you don't harm nobody, you don't violate them. You can experience those things. And to me personally, I strongly believe that young years are for that. Not gonna give a recommendation how many partners you need to have, how many different women or men somebody need to have. It's very, very personal. There are people that are very monogamous and they are happy and they thrive in a monogamous relationship. There are people that have no idea who they are because they've never explored anything, and there are people that are polygamous and they will never change. They cannot hold a commitment. They don't get satisfaction from one partner. This is their nature. And so you just need to know who you are. You just need to know who you are. So coming back to the question and request for this video, you probably are looking to commit for something way too early. If you're thinking to, start this whole process, going to Ukraine, meeting somebody. Dating in Ukraine is, when you are from US or any other country, is not the same if you're dating a girl next door. It's a commitment, it's a long distance, it's a lot of challenges. So having a polygamous relationship and trying to make that work is probably not the best choice, because it's just gonna be one big mess. And yeah, what do you guys think about it? Do you think that it makes sense to try and flying over there and trying to meet somebody? And I can tell you, 99.9% of women, if you tell them what you're up to, not only they will not support that, but they will make sure they block your numbers, they block your Skype, they block your Messenger. They had enough of that in their life. If they didn't have personally that situation, they probably had a mother, a sister, a girlfriend that was, never signed to be in an open relationship, but they came to know that that's what's been happening. So, other words, let's look at the positive side of this. One of the most important values for Ukrainian women, and why Ukrainian women are open for international relationships. Part of that is commitment, and part of that is respect, and part of that is desire to have somebody that is ready, because they kind of thinking that, okay, if somebody come all the way here, they probably know what they're doing. They are probably ready to commit. They probably would not be wasting their time and put all this effort to invest into somebody, and then say, hey, by the way, we are in an open relationship. So also Ukrainian women heard that foreign men have more appreciation for women, that they're more committed, and that cheating is normally not a part of the culture. And I would say that is probably true. Of course, there are examples, and I have to generalize things because we cannot talk about every single person in the world, but it's not something encouraged. As if to compare it to Russia and Ukraine, it was a time, I was very young at the time, but I was basically still a child, but I remember the time where it was almost a fashion that all successful men have, some kind of lovers, some kind of mistresses, and all of that. And I think it kind of left a very unpleasant feeling. And a lot of women would agree with me that if you're not, ready to commit, if you are polygamous or whatever you call it, first of all, the traditional culture is probably not for you. Secondly, if you're still a younger person, maybe you should explore more and satisfy your curiosity. Because those men and women that satisfy their curiosity early on, and it's not necessarily always sexual. A lot of people are so-called emotional cheaters. I mean, that's how they call them. I just, for the lack of better term. So basically, these people, they are connecting with others emotionally, and that gives them sort of a crutch or an outlet to make it through the day. So it probably makes sense to really explore your own desires, to realize who you are and what you have to offer. I almost feel that sometimes it's impossible to fully understand who you are before you engage with others. And once again, for some people, it's strictly sexual experiences. For some people, it's dating experiences. For some people, it's actually emotional experience. We all have a different ways of getting that satisfaction and joy into our system. So everybody is absolutely different. And for some people, 3 partners is more than enough. Some people just keep re-engaging with many people. And I feel that modern culture contributes to that in terms of dating apps and people being disposable, and also as if people are disposable, and also that people do not wait enough to create connection, and they jump in very quick into having sex. So that satisfaction never comes because things don't have time to build up as you jump in, and very quickly it's poof, and that excitement is gone. So off to the next one. Ukrainian women, Slavic mentality woman can understand when those things happened. She probably also have her adventures which she will never tell you about. Side note, if she's smart, she will never tell you, what she's been up to, and that is okay because it's none of your business. Well, actually, she will tell you. We have this joke about the next one is the best one, and also and also that because there was a lot of sexual shame for women, not for men, but for women it's always shame. It's like funny because men have to cheat with somebody, but nobody's thinking about that. So to avoid that shame, women sort of create that behind the scene joke, and that joke is, well, of course, well, you are the second one, so no, you're not the first one, you're the second one. So I really think it's a very intimate thing. It's a very intimate part of life, and there is no point of trying to get into someone's private life. You have to look at where the person is and what they value at this moment. Because if you meet a lady in her 30s, she's valuing totally different things that she was valuing when she was 19. It's two different people. If she's smart, if she's evolving, she doesn't care about how cute you are is not the most important thing. The most important thing is how you can protect, provide, and profess. That's what's important. So once again, to answer that question, 99.9% of women will say no thanks. So it's up to you what you're gonna do. If you decide to stay with your open relationship mindset, I just want to warn you, it's gonna be hard to find somebody. Not that it's impossible, but it's gonna be it's gonna be hard to find somebody if you're honest about it. You can always lie and you can do whatever you want, but if you actually telling the truth, it's going to be hard to find somebody, because women, ladies that value herself, she's doing none of that. I can tell you this right now. She's having none of that under any circumstances. She's not sharing anybody with nobody. It's not happening. So yeah, I have another great joke about this. When sometimes now there is a big fashion with being bisexual, sort of, here in US. A lot of couples are like, well, I'm married, but my wife is bisexual, or my girlfriend is bisexual. So those women who do not support do not want to be bisexual, one of the best answers for this is, if the man asks you, well, how about how about inviting more people to our events? How about, I think, we have a special name for it in Ukraine, but it's called threesome here in US. So a smart woman will say, yes, sure, I do have the man in mind. So basically, very few men are open for, to that point when they open to have men in that situation. So I thought it was hilarious when women, instead of saying, explaining, they're not open to it, say, yeah, sure, yeah, let's have it. I do have a dude in mind. So a lot of times it's more polygamous for the men. And Ukrainian women, once again, guys, I don't care, what you can offer, what you can do. Yes, I'm generalizing, but they have none of that. I was thinking about it, and I realized everything I observed, it's it just what it is, especially those women that value themselves, especially those women that are high class. There is a kind of women that I think every nationality have, that have very low self-esteem, that ready to do anything they are asked for, and they ready to actually step all over their principles, or they are also very liberal and open to whatever kind of experiences. But this way, you get what you're asking for, possibly together with a bunch of STDs, unwanted pregnancies, and a whole bunch of other horrible stuff that you don't need. So that's my answer. So the answer is basically no. And since this young man asked my advice is get this out of your system. Get this out of your system. Have fun, explore, understand who you are. Are you like this for now? Do you just crave open relationship for now? Do you want are you afraid of commitment? Do you afraid to be hurt? Do you feel that it will give you more freedom? What is that you need? I do know that there are some people that they can't commit, and they also want to show certain persona. It's almost like, and you guys tell me if you know what I'm talking about, it's like they are more of a man if their sexual choices are if their sexual choices are kind of different from the classic, and they brag about to their friends. We all know poor guy, which I think he's a poor guy. You might disagree with me. The Playboy, I forgot his name, but he died anyway. I can understand how many men would be jealous. Oh my gosh, he has all these, women, on his mansion, and oh my gosh, he must be so lucky. He's surrounded by all this unreal beauty. But you would think, on the other hand, what makes a man that lives to be so old to never discover the power? Yes, Hugh Hefner, thanks. Thank you guys. This is how much I follow Hollywood BS. So, what would make a man going? If that's it in your 20s. Once again, that's different. What would make a man never discover the true intimacy? Because I can tell you, the person that can never get enough, and that's just keep going and trying to impress people, and there is some kind of lack of being able to connect. It's almost like getting a small child who is deprived from sugar, a child who is deprived from sugar, locked him in a shop with sweets. He probably going to be eating those candies till he's like, whoo. And for the person that never discovered the true intimacy that usually only two people can have, and it is a real treasure, it's actually worth living life for, to experience that. I really feel sorry for that, because the person that's happy and fulfilled does not need to show stuff, does not need to do these things, and it just means that there is an intimacy issue, the connection issue, the ability to love issue. So if some of you guys are jealous to Hugh Hefner, don't be so jealous, because he was a deeply unhappy man. If we would look deep into things, on the outer, he might have lived the dream, but a lot of things that look good on the outer, they're not so happy inside. And I've actually listened to an interview of one of his rabbits. Was quite interesting. And yet it was kind of sad. But we won't go into it. Everybody lives a life that they choose. So once again, Ukrainian women do not care about your past. They do not care what you've done, where you've been, as long as you're healthy and you're mentally together. They do not care about any of those things because there is time for everything. And as long as you have learned something, as long as you can show them appreciation and value them. And once again, I told you guys that being faithful, just being faithful, and when that comes from your heart, that's one of the most valuable things that Ukrainian women are looking for, because in our culture, it was almost a given that the man will, as soon as he has an opportunity, he will go for it and he will cheat. Now, I'm not saying this, I'm not saying all those things to judge somebody. It's between you and God, or you and your religion, or you and your beliefs. But you will just be wasting time trying to convince somebody. I know it's very popular right now, and everybody's talking about, this LGBT something, whatever community, and, how they are. Well, it's a little bit different topic. It's for people that, weird in a different way, but, how they are so deprived. And I'm thinking to myself, what is this community is bringing to the world? Why we, people who trying to be, who trying to bring some values, who trying to build something, have to worry about these people and give them something special? My question is, as a classic and traditional, more or less, beliefs woman, I don't understand what they bring to the community whatsoever. So for Ukrainian mind, this all the same, bi relationship, open relationship, polyamorous, polygamous. I don't know, I'm screwing up the names, but you know what I mean. And this LGBT BS, it's all one thing, and they wanna know nothing about it. So once again, do what you gotta do, explore what you gotta explore, but a woman that is worse to be with will never consider that opportunity. She'll wish you good luck. And even if she had some of those experiences, a lot of people, young people, they experiment when they're young. And there is, no point of shaming anybody. But whether she had experienced that or not, she will have nothing to do with that. Just saying. Well, let me see what you guys are writing. And while I'm looking for the comments, for the comments, guys, I want to tell you something else. Think about if you actually will have children. How screwed up that's gonna be for your children. Just think about that. If you bring children to the world, like, this is mommy, this is a half mommy, this is a one sort of your daddy. I mean, this is just BS. It's just such a disaster. So if you're planning to have children, probably you're gonna screw up their mentality, you're gonna set them for a failure. It's gonna be so confusing. If you can't commit, if you want to be a free man or a free woman, nobody's judging you. You do your thing. You take your risks. You experiment, but you have to remember about all the things that come with too much mess in a relationship. Too many people, and do what works for you. But if you're considering ever having children, consider that it's gonna be very screwy for them to have parents who are just, out of their mind. Yeah, and STDs is real are real. I'm talking about this because now more younger people are watching me, and I have so many requests that I don't know when I'm gonna be doing them, but thank you so much. I'm going to check some message. Oh, hey Mark, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you. Guys, feel free to comment because I want to hear from you. I have mostly mature men here, and what are your thoughts on this? Yes. Thank you guys for the support, and my good old guys, thank you for being here, even though I didn't tell you early enough. So, okay, somebody is asking me, John Finney is asking, what do you consider is the best way to reassure her so as not to trigger her post traumatic syndrome? Just show her. It's done less with words, but more with expressions. That confidence that you're there, you know, being there, done that. I would just say showing sharing with her your beliefs and what you're looking for. Maybe you have good parents that live together for 30, 40, 50 years. Maybe I would just say not even going too much into all the BS, and sharing what's going on in the Western world right now, and how difficult I feel like sexual majority are becoming sexual minority. For real, for real. What was normal and classic, it's now kind of exotic when people actually faithful to each other, when people have great intimacy together, creating all these beautiful, wonderful moments. I feel truly that this is becoming something very unusual. Just as if you see a classy, man or a classy woman, it's becoming exotic now. So to reassure her, you can tell her how much you appreciate somebody who is committed and what you want, and how much you are ready to explore that together. That's all. And the most important thing, show her with action that she's on your mind, and maybe your parents were this way and you always very inspired by that. Share some couples that are living a beautiful life, and it's real. It's not just Facebook beautiful or Instagram beautiful. And just share with her. You don't have to specifically tell her, oh, I will never cheat. That would be weird. But you can just tell her what you admire and what you kind of dreaming of, what you dream, what you dream about. Hey guys, I'm glad you having some good laugh. Okay, I'm gonna read your comments. All right. Small low self-esteem, Robert. Yes, I totally agree. I feel that women who agree for those things, they have low self-esteem and they have a bunch of issues. Believe me, we not thinking about this stuff. We have other things to focus on. Brian is saying, I can't believe this is a topic, Ukrainian women sharing a man. Yes, there is no way in the world. We ain't sharing no man. That is true. Well, thank you. Thank you, Rob. He said, I'm glad you enjoying listening the topics. They are coming from my heart, and sometimes it's very hard to talk about certain things. Mark is saying, I've had plenty of time to sow the wild oats. Just need one good woman. I would easily replace plenty of ones who do not appreciate. That's right. Tohar, somebody, I can't read your name, guys, but he's saying, I'm sticking with one woman. If you want to know how much pain a person suffers, Google search cheating stories and read about the pain people have gone through. Also, King Nero is recommending the book Never Just Friends. Okay. Very good point. Mark is saying, Mark is Marco Polo. Awesome point, Mark is saying. Because of all of that, most Ukrainian women had gone through okay, sorry. It's 11 o'clock. I'm going to read this again. Because of all of that, most Ukrainian women have gone through, makes them a perfect candidate for a totally devoted woman. That is a beautiful observation, Mark, and that is absolutely true. Some of these women have some of the weird experiences. Most of them didn't. Most of them went through pain of being devoted to a man and get cheated on, or being invited into open relationships, they didn't ask for. So these ladies are truly devoted women. They don't care about that stuff. They could care less. They want to have one man who can appreciate their dedication, and one man that they would be happy to open up and experience most amazing thing between man and a woman, called intimacy. Intimacy in all the ways. I truly believe that true intimacy, is the most beautiful thing on this planet. And if you're lucky enough to have that, to experience that, you lived life to the fullest. So let me look through some more. Thanks so much, King Nero. I appreciate your appreciation. Thank you for the support, and I'm glad this topic resonates with you. I know it does. And I feel more comfortable talking about these things because I feel more connection with you guys. And sometimes I avoid talk about these things, but they are part of life. We consist of so many things. It's just, we are not 15 years old anymore to be shy and uncomfortable. I think somebody has to talk about it. So thank you so much for the support, guys. I appreciate it. Mark is saying, when a guy is young, he goes for quantity. When you mature, you don't settle, and it's all about the quality. I totally agree with that. And I also, I don't judge men as harshly because, men's sexuality peaks very, very early. And, it just instincts. I think the nature has something to that because, when you have all those hormones, the instincts, the biological animal in us does not care about the bills, about the mortgage, about the car, about responsibility. The nature cares about only one thing and one thing only, and that is continuation of the species. The reason why man's sexuality picks up about age of 20, 25, or somewhere early, let's just say very early, it peaks like, well, you know better than I do. It's because then you have to, the nature hoping you will have time to spread yourself around so the life doesn't stop, because you guys like to fight and kill each other. So in order for the life to go on, I actually I read a research about it. This is not just my imagination. So that instinct, that sexual drive, if not for that sexual drive, the life would stop. Because as women, we not always feel that. We're not always into it, and some of us can live without it. When it comes to women, women's sexuality peaks from about age 30 to 35 to 40. This is where it's absolutely insane. And women becoming very sensual and sexual. And I think it's also natural because the nature makes sure that you got that kid before it would be impossible to have it. So there is nothing wrong with it. It's not that we are bad people. We're not gonna put religion to all of that. We're not gonna try to judge somebody, but once again, we have laws, we have papers, bureaucracy, marriages, and all of that. But the biology, the world does not care about, who is paying childcare. The nature, the instinct, the animal in us, or that instinct that inside of people cares about that life goes on. That's all it cares about. Because if that would be up to men, there would be no marriages whatsoever. If that would be up to women, there sometimes would be barely any sex, because we need all kinds of things to happen so we feel, so we feel like we are into it. By the way, in one of my next videos, I will talk about why women sometimes completely go cold, and what are the main reasons for that. So I just want to warn you guys, I really appreciate you coming and watching my live videos. I'm going to be cutting them shorter. So all this extra stuff I'm talking about, some of it you will be able to see on my Patreon. Some of you, you're not going to see anymore, but you heard it. So I'm considering to chopping them shorter the next day, so you can watch all this crazy talk for a bit, and I'm going to post it a little bit not at public, because I think it could be a better option. Somebody asking me what's my opinion on webcam models. I don't really have one. I don't think they are doing this for the faint of heart, but I think that they feel safe, that nobody can hurt them and give them a disease. So they're doing that to make some money. They are not doing that because they like it. I can tell you that for sure. They're doing that because it's safe physically and they get some money. That's all. But I'm really not an expert. I don't know. Thank God. Oh my gosh. And I didn't even have a drink. So what about you guys? King Nero is saying, my current girlfriend was abandoned by her husband after she had 2 kids, and her husband moved to a new city and started another family. I was told by friends that in Russia this happens. Okay, so not only this happens, if the man starts one family after another, a lot of times several families are started at the same time. Or one family had started, and after a couple years there is another family, including kids, and then another family. So after having that, guys, once again, Slavic women could care less about all this sexual bullshit. They had enough of that. They want somebody that they can trust. Classical things become an exotic. That you can just trust somebody, that's become an exotic. That you can actually rely on that man and enjoy different sexual experiences with him without being afraid, that he has five kids here, 5 kids there, or have an STD. That's becoming a huge appreciation. In a world of Kardashians, be the Princess Diana or whoever, I feel like in this world, those good old values are truly becoming gold. That's just my opinion. I don't know, guys. What do you think about it? Yeah, Kardashians, whatever. Yeah, that's some scary stuff. I mean, by the way, since we have an adult conversation, I feel like people who admire or think it's very cool to be like Kardashians, to become famous and ridiculously rich, they really don't realize that if somebody won a lottery by doing something really inappropriate and just irresponsible and doing that on purpose, it gives a message to some young girls that they can do that and they become as famous and gonna be worshipped by a bunch of people that don't have any values. Well, that's wrong, because that just an exceptional case. All the other girls think it's good, uh, might think that it's a short way to fame, but they are so wrong about it. They can ruin their career, their life by doing stuff like that. So I truly feel that it's a horrific example for young women. Just horrific. Brian, I don't share nobody. I'm greedy. But yet it's a choice. I feel that person should always have a choice. They don't want to be there, the door is open. Wow, guys, I'm just reading your comments. All right, so yeah, we talk a little bit about everything. That I hope that my subscriber will actually find this, and I'm definitely gonna post this in Patreon. I might even take the whole video there and then make a short one on this topic, because it's just a lot of thoughts, but it's kind of fun to interact with everybody. Oh my goodness. So I would like to finish with this. If you are looking for the classic values, if you are looking for something once again that's now becoming exotic, in the Western world, in the world of Kardashians, and you go into Ukraine, you are on the right path. If you're looking for sister wife, I don't know, brother wife, some weirdo situation, you'll be better off here, because you can find these weird people that just lost in life, and I don't know. I'm not sure they even know what they want, but you are more likely to have untraditional or non-traditional men and women here, and save the ticket fare, the airfare, and you don't want to see Ukrainian women angry. That's a whole another video. But there is truly no tolerance for stuff like that. Have fun, get out there, do what you gotta do. Before you invest your time, your money, your energy into something, you gotta choose your battle. You gotta see, there is no point of trying to find something where it doesn't exist. So, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your support, for the comments, and super chats, and great laughter and great company. I hope this will helpful. So, just another reassurance that Ukrainian women like the good classical stuff, and that's gonna work for you. That's gonna work for you if that's what you